What's up YouTube, Team Deception09 here with a quick video for you guys. I did a little review thing on the Lightsworn structure deck. As you can see, I have the deck right here. And I decided I was going to do this one. If I do this in reverse order, then I'm doing this one first and then that one, or I did that one first and did this one. Either way, be sure to go check out the other one that I have or haven't done yet. So this is the Super Starter Space-Time Showdown, for anyone who doesn't know. It's the starter deck that introduces pendulum monsters into our game. You get 2 power-up packs, quote-unquote power-up pack. You get a lot of really interesting cards in this. Power-up pack stuff information is here. You get Odd Eyes, Disfold Scalp, Karaz, the Light Monarch, Feeding Warrior Lady, Sacred Crane, Amazon Sage, Injection Fairy Lily, the A-Forces, Reinforcement of the Army, which went to 2 recently, Dark Hole, Swords of Revealing Light, Mirror Force, which is always good, Call of Haunted, Magic Cylinder, and Divine Wrath, which is another decent card because you saw that in Dragon Rulers earlier on this year. So the best things in the power pack are basically the Dark Hole, the Mirror Force, maybe the Divine Wrath, and the Reinforcement of the Army. Fairy Lily is also kind of cool, and Volscasta, always an interesting card, despite the fact that it was like the worst SJC card ever to be printed. So on the back you get your little card list, but we're going to kind of just go over what cards are in here anyways on our own. So, or we can just tear it completely like that. Why not? Alright, and nice going there, Konami. So we have our bent playmat, because Konami's great at packaging, apparently. And it features a new pendulum zone. Sorry if you heard me bumping the tripod. Because these new pendulum zones tells you kind of how to do everything, you know, the steps. I like how the graveyard and the deck zones are kind of cut off here. I guess because they didn't want to make it a full-size playmat due to the pendulum zone. The pendulum zones look a little bigger than I thought they would too, which is kind of weird, but whatever. You get the beginner's guide, which I believe this is kind of just a smaller version of the other one from the Lightsworn one. So I mean, there's that. I don't know if this is the full rule book or what, but I think this also comes with a lot of the new rules, and stating that there's no draw on turn 1, so if you're going first, you don't get your draw. And there can be more than one field spell out at any given time. I believe there was another ruling or 2 in there that was mentioned, but those are like the biggest ones. So we have the starter deck and we have our 2 power packs. I'm going to do the power packs first because, you know, why not? See what we get for ultras and whatnot. As well as the commons that we get. So the first little power-up pack that we get a Ultra Odd Eyes Dragon, which is kind of cool. Magic Cylinders, Sacred Crane, Mirror Force, really good common, and the A-Forces. I believe that you get one of each of the Ultras in these. I think it's only, yep, I was right. You get Ultra Rare Dark Hole, very pretty card, very, very pretty. So there's that. Amazon Sage, Karaz, the Light Monarch, Divine Wrath, another decent common, and Injection Fairy Lily, which is also not that bad. So I'll just put the Odd Eyes and the Dark Hole aside here and put Mirror Force on top of that. So already we get 2 foils, hooray! I mean, I guess you can be overly excited about that, even though I told Robbie this, I think that you kind of get one of each of the Ultras in every Super Starter Space-Time Showdown starter deck, so something to kind of keep in mind. Every one that I've seen open just kind of opens like that, so something to kind of keep in mind. Alright, so like the new stuff, obviously we have the new pendulum monsters. We have Time Gazer, who is a pendulum scale of 8, and Stargazer, who is a pendulum scale of 1. For Time Gazer Magician, if you want to activate him as a pendulum, like one of the scales, you have to have no monsters on your field to activate it. If a pendulum monster you control attacks or is attacked, your opponent cannot activate any trap cards until the end of the damage step, unless and then after that, unless you have a Magician or an Odd Eyes card in your other pendulum zone, its pendulum scale becomes 4. Stargazer has a similar effect to the last effect that I just mentioned on Time Gazer. If you do not have a Odd Eyes or a Magician in your pendulum, it becomes 4. If a pendulum, while it's in your pendulum zone, if a pendulum monster you control attacks or is attacked, your opponent cannot activate spell cards until the end of the damage step. So, I mean, that kind of prevents them from activating spells and traps, which is always nice to have, right? So, a lot of the stuff in here is also currently known. A lot of it's not, so, I mean, we'll just get into it. Wattail Dragon, good normal monster for heretics. Luster Dragon, kind of a good normal dragon, I guess. Hunter Dragon's a nice card. I actually like the reprint of this. I don't think it's ever been reprinted, so it's kind of cool. Millennium Shield with its alternate art, Dark Blade, Warrior by Greffer, Chamberlain of the Six Samurai, Mystical Elf, and then we get into some of the new cards here. Aether the Empowering Dragon. When this card is pendulum summoned, you can target one card on the field, return it to the hand. You can only use this effect of Aether the Empowering Dragon once per turn. You have Ventra, I think is how it's pronounced, the Empowered Warrior. If this card attacks your opponent directly, this card can attack you or your opponent directly. Sorry. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can target one dragon, warrior, or spellcaster type normal monster in your graveyard and add it to your hand. So it's kind of like a Sing-In for your graveyard. It's also a level 5 though, so I mean, that's a thing, I guess. Arnis, the Empowered Warrior. When this card you control is destroyed by battle with an opponent's attacking monster and sent to your graveyard, you can special summon a spellcaster monster with 1500 or less attack from your deck in attack position. Terra Tiger, the Empowered Warrior. When this card is normal summon, you can special summon one level 4 or lower normal monster from your hand in defense position. Really good. It's an 1800 warrior, so I mean, it's pretty good. Kind of interesting for like Noble Knights if they happen to get another normal monster, of course. Hydra Tortoise, the Empowered Warrior. It's a flip effect. Target one spell or trap card your opponent controls and destroy it. Golden Dragon Summoner. They have the Empowered Warriors and they have Dragon Summoners in here. This one says you contribute this card to target one monster on the field, return it to the hand. You can only use this effect once per turn. Blue Dragon Summoner. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can add one Dragon, Warrior, or Spellcaster type normal monster from your deck to your hand, which is like a Sing-In, which is really good. It's also 1500 and a win, so I mean, if that's something you fancy. Red Sparrow Summoner. When this card you control is destroyed by battle with an opponent's attacking monster and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon one warrior type monster with 1500 or less attack from your deck in attack position. White Tiger Summoner. When this card is normal summoned, you can special summon one level 4 or lower normal monster from your hand. All monsters you control gain 100 attack and defense. So it's kind of an 1800 that can just normal summon and do whatever, I guess. And then we have Green Turtle Summoner. It's another flip effect. You target one monster your opponent controls and destroy it. It's kind of a new what's it called? Snowman Eater. It's the same level, has lower stats though. Something else I kind of want to mention, the first edition is no longer like up here, it's down in the bottom next to the number of the card, like the card ID number. Another new card, we have a Sorcerer's Spell Wall. It's a field spell. All monsters you control gain 300 attack during your turn. All monsters you control gain 300 defense during your opponent's turn only. Best card in the entire deck is right here, Supply Squad. Once per turn, if a monster or monsters you control is destroyed by a battle or by a card effect, you draw a card. It's your money card of this entire starter deck, so I do recommend you pick up 3 just because of this, as well as the pendulums, of course. One Lightning Vortex, one Mystical Space Typhoon, because you can never have enough of those. Ego Boost, for what it's worth. Axe of Despair, Lucky Iron Axe, Monster Reincarnation, Dark Factory Mass Production, Poison of the Old Man, Trap Hole, because Myra Melio and Trap Tricks, Sakuretsu Armor, because we've had enough Deep Prison reprints lately, I guess. Orgeki Break, decent card. Dust Tornado, another decent card. Shadow Spell, Hero Emerges, Soul Resurrection, Jar of Greed, Magic Jammer, and 7 Tools of the Bandit. So, on top of getting basically both of the Ultras from the power-up packs, you can get things like the Mirror Force. You can get, there was like a few other decent cards in there. There was Divine Wrath, there was Reinforcing the Army, stuff like that. You also get cards like Supply Squad, which is good. Some of the Summoners are decent cards, but like Terra Tiger is the best out of the Empowered Warriors. And then you get a bunch of normal monsters, of course, and then you get your pendulums. Basically, the best cards are the pendulums, the Terra Tiger, and the Supply Squad. I don't know what the pendulums are actually going for as of right now, of course, but Supply Squad I think is going for anywhere between like $5 and $6, so it's kind of already half of your starter deck back. Mirror Force is probably moved for a solid $2 or $3, and I mean, of course, the pendulums probably go for a couple bucks as well, so you can definitely get your money back by buying this. Of course, you get a lot of like not so necessary cards, but I mean, you also get a lot of good things as well. More notably, the things that are on the table, except for this, which is just a free ultra rare that you get. So I mean, if you're planning on playing pendulums, I do kind of recommend you pick up the deck, because I mean, Time Gazer and Stargazer, and Supply Squad's kind of like that continuous version of Upstart Goblin. So I mean, something to kind of consider picking up if you haven't already. Not to mention, again, you can get some of the cool cards out of the power pack. Like, I got 2 of the good commons, Divine Wrath and Air Force. So, I mean, that's kind of cool. So yeah, that's about it for basically this little review. Like I said, there's updated rules in this starter deck, so if you don't know them, you can kind of look them up online. And not to mention, you get your Pendulums and Supply Squad, as well as your Ultra Rare Dark Hole for free in here. So I do kind of recommend you pick this up, despite the fact that it has a lot of lower stuff, you know, like all the normal monsters and whatnot. So yeah. If you haven't already, don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe. Like I said, if you haven't already, check out the Lightsworn review thing that I did. If you watched this one first, if you watched the other one first, and I guess I'm glad that you came here to watch this one as well. Much appreciate the support. So I mean, there's that. So yeah, I will be doing pack openings after this, most likely the special editions, and then all of these. So be sure to stay tuned for all that. So until next time, this is Team 709 signing out. Peace.